Well, it's 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Go ahead and do roll call. Uh, Gary, is he online? Uh, did you hear anything from Gary as far as him being absent? Okay, me neither.
He was on his vacation. I don't know if he was how long that was going to be, but
Gotcha. Maybe it was over a couple months. Okay. David Benner,
here.
Josh Chrysler,
Here.
Elizabeth DeGringer, here. Patrick Bustos. Oh, he actually did contact me and tell me he was going to be absent. Kelly Severe, here. Patrick Vaughn,
Here.
and Chuck Burdick.
Here.
Okay, well, I think we have quorum. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
I'll move. I'll second.
Any discussion? I do have one little spelling correction. It's Conwell, not Cromwell. I know. Yeah. Any other comments on the minutes? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Does anyone need to make any disclosures? Conflicts of interest? Okay. Do we have any audience online? See, we've got it. I guess just do you want to? I sorry, I just forgot your name, so I was like, do you want to address the board for anything, or are you just hanging out and listening? Okay. Okay. Okay, I guess city council.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Even though we had a long meeting last night, it was mostly centered around a couple things. And really, we mostly had referrals, but we had a public hearing last night on some annexation of 1,259.91 acres located west of Round Top Road and adjacent to Happy Jack Road. Charles might want to touch on this a little bit later. But there was a mix-up, and some of the families out there that have the ranchettes thought that they were part of the annexation. This is where our freshwater treatment plant is. So I think that's Rolling Hills Estates. That's most of the people that came and spoke against it live in that area. But most of this area is actually city land, which I found ironic because a lot of these people usually believe in their property rights. But I guess when it comes to the city, we don't have the same property rights. We'll see how this goes in the future. But that was pretty interesting. The other one that I think you guys are really paying attention to was that the finance committee and some of my colleagues approved $5 million of reserves to go toward the Reed Avenue Corridor project. And this is only going to be expended if we reach a final agreement with the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. That passed 7-2, I believe. And then the last one, the DDA district agreed to expand to include the Snyder grocery store. And after that, it was just mostly referrals. We had about 20 referrals to both the Public Service Committee and the Finance Committee. The only other thing at the end of the agenda was we designated Dr. Mark Greedy to be the delegate to the WAM conference and Mayor Patrick Collins to be the alternate. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for City Councilman Nussbaum? No. Well, I know you have other things to get to, so
long night, long day.
yeah.
And then if you have any more questions, I think Charles can handle this.
Well, thank you for coming and
All
yeah.
right. Thank you, Madam Chair, members.
Uh, yeah. Planning and development reports. This get upgraded. I feel like it's a lot louder for some reason. Or am I just crazy? Okay.
No, there's no possible way it was upgraded.
Should have asked.
We just flipped over the cassette tape to record on the other side.
Okay.
And the gerbil's running a little quicker to make the audio system work better. So it's all good. No, next is planning development department updates, correct? Okay,
Yes.
all right. As Councilman Escobar mentioned, we did have that annexation that was out there, and the issue that was out there was incorrect name that was posted in the staff report. It was the William S. Cox Revocable Trust was the annexation applicant. They had acquired another piece of land from the Cox Ranch LLC. However, the county assessor is, it's fair to say, years behind on updates to that GIS map they have online. So the property ownership was wrong. I don't think it's the county assessor, it's the county IT department's very far behind on getting information to the GIS folks. So just word of caution, that map is not accurate. So it's self-admitted that it should not be relied on for accuracy. So if you want zoning, it's completely wrong, at least for city zoning. So that's going on. But anyway, yeah, the residents out in the Rolling Hills neighborhood were very concerned because they thought they were being annexed. I mean, it's very clear that this is about a half mile away from them. So there was just some concern there. One thing that was noted is on the property that's being annexed, which is for a future business park development. There's an old mausoleum that is out there on the southern side. So if you're ever driving out on Highway 210 and you look to the north, you'll see a mausoleum that looks out of place. Sounds like some of you may have not seen this before, but some are familiar. So I don't know what the history is of it, but it will be a discussion point as we move through the site plan to see what their intentions are for it, or if there's a reservation or an easement to let it remain. So it's on our horizon. Secondly, with our department, we are looking for ways to be more efficient. One of the ways we're going to be more efficient is we're looking at changing the way that we document our meetings. We're going to be transitioning in the next few months to essentially action minutes that will just identify who's here, what the motion was, who made comments, and what the vote was. In response to that, we will be uploading all of our videos to our YouTube channel, and we'll have an actual link to that on our agenda and minutes page. And we'll probably go above and beyond with our action minutes. We'll actually put a timestamp on there as to where the discussion starts. So if people want to hear exactly what happened, why 13 people commented, they can go take a look at it there. It's really tough and challenging to do the verbatim minutes, and it's a lot of very time consuming. Secondly, let's see. What else do we have going on? We are in the early stages of bringing forward a certificate of appropriateness to you all for demolition and rebuild of a garage on the rear portion of a house in a historic district. It's a contributing structure. So that will be coming forward to you all at the next meeting. One thing that was surprising with that when we reread the code again is just the advanced deadlines that we have for publishing the report at least 15 days prior to the meeting, and also delivering it physically by hand or via mail. So we might be looking at doing some updates to our city municipal code to bring that into the 21st century. So
I did receive that letter, by the way, so.
that was one of the archaic things. That's step one. That's first piece of physical mail that you all get. You'll get a physical staff report as well. So beware, paper cuts happen. So we have that. There was an announcement that was made today. I don't know if you saw the announcement by Microsoft that they are developing an approximate 3,000 acre addition to one of their business parks on the southeast portion of the community. So that's moving forward. as well as a bunch of other industrial park projects. So we have no shortage of work coming our direction. And I believe our council or governing body meetings will be long as we move forward. Other than that, I don't have any. Oh, Councilman Escobar did mention that the DDA district did vote to, or they had recommended that their boundaries be increased to include the Snyder Street grocery store over on Snyder, just on the west side there at about 21st, 22nd Street, right over there. That did pass second reading last night by the governing body, so that's moving forward, and that will make it a contributor to it'll be part of the DDA district effective January 1st when the tax rolls are updated. One other final piece that I will touch on is we have our county pocket annexation is still pending. At the last one of the more recent meetings of the governing body, they postponed action on that until their first meeting in November. So it's just hanging out there in limbo right now. Our goal is to move forward with ordinances that address some of the right to farm and the Food Freedom Act and electric fences and anything else that could be agriculture and livestock related. So we're moving forward with that. One of the unintended consequences of that was it did delay a citywide blight study, which was waiting for that to be complete to essentially do a blanket designation as blight for the city to allow for the URA, urban renewal toolbox, essentially be used by any property owners. That's had a trickle down effect and has delayed probably about 4 or 5 housing developments that were seeking to use urban renewal tax incentive dollars. So I'm working with those folks to see if there's an alternative path forward on a couple of different developments. So with that, those are the updates I have. Aaron, do you have any additional items? All right.
Does anyone have any questions? Josh?
Well, I've always noticed that mausoleum and been curious about it, so I'll be interested to hear what you sort of uncover about the history of it. But my question is, and I see we have a line item for it later on, but just about that 418 West First Avenue. I'm curious if you could sort of walk us through how it's coming to us as a board, because does it have like a covenant just on that specific address or something? Because it's not in one of the protective, I mean, it's right. There's no like protective overlay or anything in that neighborhood.
Yes, I can walk you all through that real quick. However, I'm not going to do specific code citations. I'm not sure which ones they are off the top of my head. There's 2 provisions that we have in our municipal code regarding a review of historic structures. One of them is the Governor's Mansion Historic Overlay District, which that's right there. It's about a couple square blocks. Any changes, regardless of if it's contributing or not, they get reviewed and you grant a COA. The other piece is if it is a building that is identified as a contributing structure in a historic district and they're proposing demolition or relocation of it, then it's triggered to have permission by this board. We did look at this. This is an actual demolition of a piece of the structure, an attached garage, and then it will have a rebuild. So what we're looking at and reviewing is, number one, the demolition, is it going to detract from the historic fabric of that district? And number 2 is the addition that is replacing it essentially in harmony with the preservation standards of, I think it's preservation brief 14 is the one that talks about appropriate additions. So that's what you're looking at in this specific case.
And so then you'll be sending us physical mail in basically 2 weeks from now that sort of outlines everything that we need to look at with the building before the May board meeting.
Chair 3, that's correct.
Thanks.
Any other questions for planning and development? Okay, we'll move on to strategic goals report. National Register of Historic Places. Elizabeth, do you want to?
Yeah, I can give a quick update, kind of same as always right now, just continuing doing research. I think I mentioned last month that found some really great articles about some African American social groups here in town. And so I've been following a lot of those leads. I've also been in contact with Aubrey Edwards in Laramie, and I'm sure some folks know her. She's kind of a powerhouse in history matters. And so she's also willing to help out with this project too. And because she's doing some research that's kind of similar to what we're kind of working on here too. So her and I are going to share some of our research together. So that's pretty exciting. And then airport terminal, yep, still trying to reach out to the base and their archivist there to get some more information about the missile program itself and how the airport terminal was a part of that too. So still moving forward on that stuff. But my big question is if the checks have been cut, if there's any update on that.
Chair, through you. So our office manager and accounting are still working together. Every time they think they're just about to cut the checks, something else comes up and it gets delayed. The processes are being learned as we go by staff. So they are, and we just got a check also from Cheyenne Arts, which had to be given to us prior to paying you. So they've sent me information today that said that they should be cutting the checks next week. Unfortunately, I know we've heard this before, but hopefully this time it really is happening.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get Desiree at the Arts Council said she sent the check last Wednesday, and so we should be getting it in the mail any second.
So you guys can't issue payment until you receive payment from Art Cheyenne.
That's what I've been told.
For the airport terminal, but
yes.
for the other piece, well, how many months old is?
Yeah, it's been since October, is when the contracts were originally signed. I have to say, I am disappointed to say that I did bring 2 letters with me tonight of notice of default and intent to terminate for both of these projects. So obviously, or if people aren't familiar with those, are based on the contract. Since I haven't, both contracts, since I haven't been paid, I am asking the city to pay me within 15 days. And if they do not, then I have the right to terminate the contract and no longer fulfill that. So I did bring those for both contracts today. I plan on emailing them to you guys and obviously our president and vice chair as well. So that way we have a paper trail of those two. So just wanted that to be known and put into the minutes for the board tonight as well.
So is there anything that we can do as far as talking to Robin directly to execute? Because this would be a terrible loss. We put so many years and time into getting this, and I'm assuming you've probably slowed down some of your work as well because of non-payment. And can we even meet our deadline by the end of this year? And so
Chair, I think the letter that she's going to provide is probably going to be very, very good.
Okay.
I've wanted to pay this out of a different account since the first invoice came in, but I've been stuck at a level through our finance department where we've had to go through these different hoops. So it's
well, hopefully by
something to move forward.
Issuing these letters, it'll jump kick actual payment. Because I completely understand. Because it gets to a point when if you're not being paid and not knowing you're going to get paid and slowing down the work, if you can even achieve the goal of completing. So, well, yeah, obviously if you can email that to Charles and Aaron, and then obviously to us and the physical copies. I mean, yeah. I guess any other comments on the other items that Elizabeth presented? Okay. We'll go ahead and move forward. Oral histories projects.
I don't have a huge update on this. I was hoping this month, I wanted to do an oral history with Ben Troutwine, who Charles had given me contact information that he was sort of like a silent partner with the Green Door for in the last few years of its existence. Unfortunately, he is not interested in participating in oral history. So that's not gonna go forward, but I think I don't know. I feel like pretty good about the ones I have collected, and I think that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go with collecting stories from the Green Door, and might this next month turn my attention to maybe looking for some other folks in the community with.
I do have a contact for you.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a gentleman actually at Chronicles, and there's two sisters that were involved with the Hoffman building, and just apparently I think they said Hoffman. Maybe now I'm questioning whether that's the correct information. But anyways, it sounds like, you know, they lived here all their lives, and think they're in their 80s now, but they would love to share the kind of history around the building that they grew up in and owned, and
Cool.
so I'll email that information to you.
That sounds great. Because I don't know where the Hoffman building is. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's probably like not even off. It's probably something else, and I just totally misheard it. But she did write it on a piece of paper, so I do have it on a piece of paper.
And then I ran into Patrick Bustos and mentioned that he was maybe meeting with you about oral history. So I don't know if you have anything you want to share, Chuck. No, cool.
Historic Preservation Month. I apologize. I don't have that in front of me. Who's the chair? Who's heading that one? Is it David? Were you doing Historic Preservation Month?
I'm on the committee. I can't remember if I'm the head thing on there. I don't know about the mayor's proclamation. There was something about that it was. It's Patrick. Oh,
Was it Patrick? Oh man, I'm sorry. I should have had that pulled up, but I did not. Well,
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Patrick Bustos. Yes.
I guess the city needs to answer about the mayor's proclamation. Is that on track? I think last month you mentioned.
Yep, it's set up for May 11th at 2:00. So if anyone wants to go to that, they're welcome to come.
Well, I do have a Leclerc Jones application. I apologize. I only have a paper copy here. But and I know you wanted to kind of discuss the Albany as well. But I do have it for the Asher building. I think everyone's pretty familiar with the Asher. It is on the National Register, built in 1905. It was owned by the Asher family, who had a wholesale grocer. Currently occupied by Chronicles Distillery, Art Cheyenne, and Cashwa Grocers, which is, I think, pretty fitting considering that it used to be a grocer's before. But I did go in, and I wanted to bring a lot of light to Chronicles Distillery, just because I think that they kind of took that warehouse space and kind of captured a lot of the elements that are in there, and just, it's a really big community hub. And now Art Cheyenne has moved in. So I talked to Aaron at Chronicles, and he introduced me to the owner of the building, and was able to go through and take photos. And what you'll see in here is some of the historic photos and documentation of the building, and just kind of what the condition of the building is in now. And I just think, as far as, adaptive reuse and keeping the building active, and they're very appreciative and understanding of their historic structure. and continue to just kind of keep it alive. So I guess I pass that way and you pass, yeah. So that's one consideration for the Leclerc Jones, that I'm hoping we can look at. And then David, I don't know if you wanted to talk about the Albany.
Yeah, I talked to the present owner and the previous Callis family, and there's the second and third floor are probably still historic, but the lower level has had some enough modification that it's probably not, at least for another 10 years, eligible. And they also suffered a lot of hail damage that they had to replace a bunch of windows, which were not replaced with historic members. And the neon sign was totaled also. They're going to try to get that repaired, but basically that's going to be not be brought forward for the award at this time. So
I guess at this time, we just have this one application for the Leclerc Jones. We can move it forward, but we obviously can continue looking for other applicants. We just won't hit that May timeframe of giving an award. So we can kind of talk about that. Has anyone submitted anything for the Du Bois?
No, the deadline was Friday and nothing was submitted.
yeah, we were going to give the Du Bois later, usually in the fall, since it's a lot of people are vacationing during the starting in May, and so the businesses will be there. But usually we do the Du Bois like in the fall before the weather gets bad. But yeah, I thought there was two other buildings that were mentioned for the
It was the Alexis
clerk.
Drake building. I was unable to contact her, so that's why I reached out to this. Yep, no, went and
Okay.
talked to the Asher. I can't remember what was there.
Patrick Bustos has that place. He likes the audio
Oh,
hearing center, but he's not here tonight.
yep.
So I guess so basically we didn't get anything for Du Bois Award, even though we opened it for submissions and everything. So maybe just setting that aside for the minute and just talking about the Leclerc Jones. I mean, basically it sounds like you, Amber, sort of feel like would be a worthy recipient of the award for their sort of ongoing work preserving the building.
Yep.
What have they done recent projects or updates, or is it sort of just like the ongoing?
Just the ongoing, and then Art Cheyenne obviously just moved in, and again they've just done their best to leave the existing exposed structure, the wood beams and columns, and leave as much as that of the existing wood floors they can, leaving the exposed brick where they can. It being a warehouse, there's not like a whole lot of details internally, but they do try to do their best to maintain the historic window frames, and just ongoing maintenance on it. Really, it is on the National Register, which I think is a plus. And when I talked to the building owner, I mean, again, she was just super excited, and if selected, they would love to make it a celebration, and just bring more light. They did have a little plug in there that they do have some tenant space. So if anyone needs, but it is a pretty cool building. And I know a lot of us have probably all been there with, various entities, upstairs and events. And, I know they were doing concerts for a long time. They're not really doing that anymore on that second floor, but yeah. And I do think it's kind of interesting that they have a grocer in there. I mean, that's what the purpose of the building was. And
well, I think it seems like a good a good option for us to consider, if we want to maybe take a vote on it. I know we missed doing the Leclerc Jones last year, so we already skipped a year. So I don't think we want to skip another year to keep the award active. And I mean, we only have really received information about two different buildings, and sort of the guidance from David was that the other one isn't not a good moment for the other building. And I mean, I think the process has been similar to years in the past where we've really only had a couple options previously also. So I don't think that this is super out of line for things in the past. So depending on what the rest of the board thinks, I think could be a good option.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's before my time, but it's my understanding that there was a railroad line that went right along these buildings there, and that's why they could run this merchandise or the grocery, I think somebody told me that they used to bring bananas and stuff in by some sort of refrigerated or semi-refrigerated thing, and he was putting it on his shoulder, and every once in a while a tarantula would crawl out and stuff. But that's kind of why the level of the buildings the way they are is because the box cars are sit up high
higher.
enough. So
That makes sense.
and I guess I would also go ahead with approving that or at least voting on it. I would vote yes. So
Yeah, I apologize. I just had one printed copy. And the Du Bois, I'm kind of, if we didn't get any applicants, we don't really have any recommendations. So I don't know if we should just open it back up for people to potentially apply, and maybe we'll just need to do some work in trying to find a house ourselves. So
yeah, I think we've got several more months, and I think we could just keep hopefully advertising. And I'm surprised we didn't get any
yeah,
nominations this time. So
Well, we had also talked about doing like a paid Facebook advertisement for that I don't think we ever got around to it. Elizabeth, did you see that I did add you to the Facebook?
Yes, and of course I got on there too late in order to promote it before the deadline. So I was gonna say thank you and apologize for dropping the ball on.
oh, I forgot one more thing in the Chronicles Distillery area is the old safe. And so they have that door open, but you can still kind of see all the components, and then the area where, the employees had their little cubbies for mail. And so that's still kind of all intact, which is fun. I didn't get to go to the basement. I was a little disappointed in that because the basement's always the coolest part of the building, but
Yeah, I wonder what's down there.
yeah. Well, I know that their distillery is down there because that's where they make all the alcohol, but I didn't get to see that. Maybe if they get this, they'll let us see it. Like, I want to see the old boiler.
Sampling.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Well, I think people are still looking at the pictures, but in the meantime, I guess I would make a motion that we nominate the Asher Building for the 2026 Leclerc Jones Award.
I'll second.
I guess all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We have it.
Oh, yes, discussion. I apologize. We were discussing for so long. Was there any discussion? No? Okay. Any discussion? No? Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. And I will contact Aaron and just figure out what weekend works for them in May, so we can schedule an open house and get that information to you guys so we can create a plaque. And do did you say it's like 4 to 6 weeks to get that or?
It's usually about that.
Okay, so maybe aim for the end of May.
Aaron, what do you need from us to get that forward? Just whatever information Amber's already thinking about. Is there other specific things you need from us to
Yeah.
like move forward with purchasing the plaque?
I think just the plaque, we can go ahead and purchase it now because we don't put the date of the event on. I think we just put this year
Okay.
on it, so we can go ahead and start that process.
Do we need to vote on how much money or to approve the spending, or is that through does the city take care of that, the plaque?
I think last year we didn't vote on it. We just ordered it and paid it through historic preservation funds.
Okay.
Okay. Well, great. Yeah, I'll probably give this copy to Aaron so you guys have the property owner's information. And I'll contact them. Oh, go ahead.
The chair, I was just going to note that the funding for those awards remained in the budget for fiscal year 2027. No questions asked.
Great.
And then once you have the dates for the event, just let us know so we can post it, or we can do a social media post.
Okay, perfect. Great. Well, that'll be exciting. I mean, a great group of people, and obviously they were just very excited to talk about their building and the history of it. And so I think this will be a good one. And then Du Bois, so when you say that it closed to do the applications, like so no one can enter after the date, like so you'd have to reopen it. Okay.
Yep, we would have
Okay.
to let Matt Murphy know.
Okay.
We need to reopen it and pick another date.
Okay. If we're not going to do this until the fall, I mean, do we want to give ourselves till like July to receive applications? So,
I would think maybe like get through the Leclerc Jones and make sure we get that accomplished and then think about reopening for Du Bois. But in the meantime, I think we could make a plan for all the board members to be thinking about residences that should be considered for it as well.
so maybe we reopen it and just like, is there like, does he have to have a date, or can we just have it open until we have an end date?
I mean, I think we can just open it till whenever. It's just usually when we open it, we do a social media blast. And so we put all the information in there when they can nominate till.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think we should at least reopen it and have it open until July, and that way we have time to receive. And then also if we come up with any, then hopefully by August we can look at, because I mean, we don't want to get too far into the fall before we do it, just because, I mean, this winter wasn't good, but you never know what this upcoming year is going to bring. So, so yeah, could we just have it open until like the end of July?
Yeah, we can do that.
I guess anything else on Historic Preservation Month? The pump, well, I guess that's coming up in the pump house. I don't have all the information yet. I know that Alliance was looking at doing another tour of the pump house on the 17th of May, but there hasn't been any, I don't think there's been any official times or communication set for that. Charles, have you heard anything?
I've not heard anything, but if Megan Stanville with the Alliance is going to do that, she'll need to reach out to our compliance department to get that ball rolling. It is a much easier process now that there's a door that opens and closes that doesn't require a screwdriver and all sorts of other stuff. So it's easier. So we'll check with compliance to make sure that's moving forward.
People will need to sign that permission slip or whatever you call it to do the tour again.
And Chair, through you, that is correct. And Chair, also, I don't know if we've updated you all on this or not, but you may have, and I don't recall the exact time frame, but you all may have noticed that the fencing has been removed. Have we talked about this yet? Okay, so the fencing's removed to give it more visibility and more awareness and to prevent illicit activity from occurring where people think they're safe and they can pick and pry and break into the building. So there's more eyes on it.
Great. Anything else on Historic Preservation Month before we move on? Okay. Education of the public in historic preservation / marketing.
I found another copy of that historic homes that I gave to you that I'm going to donate to the St. Mary's, to the teacher that does the class over there. And I'm still trying to track down to see that there was a video that was created of about 18 or 20 houses here in Cheyenne back in the 1990s. And for a while it was on the internet, but I'm hoping it's still out there in the cloud somewhere, and it's just the link has been expired. So
yeah, I also have some social media updates. Again, thank you, Josh, for doing that. But some two posts that we talked about as a committee. Tomorrow, the 15th, SHPO has sent out their statewide plan. They're looking for feedback on that. It's their 10-year plan, so they're just asking anybody and everybody to supply comments on that. So I thought that would be a good partnership of us to share that on our socials. So that's the plan for tomorrow. The other one is the week of the 27th is Preservation Week. So I was hoping we could share something, obviously, about doing that as well. The day, I'm kind of like going back and forth, and I was curious about folks' opinions of taking a positive or negative spin. I would prefer a positive one. But the 26th is the date that the Carnegie Library in town was demolished in 71. So that could be an easy tie-in of why preservation is important. But also I didn't know if maybe we'd rather take a different spin on that week and do a success story here in town instead. So
that's this April or this month.
yeah, April 27th. So I'm trying to look at, from our meeting through to the next meeting. So that's also looking at the beginning of May as well. So that way things don't fall off my plate.
Yeah, Josh.
I feel like you could do both, maybe a success and I mean, people have very strong opinions about the Carnegie Library in particular, for whatever reason. That building in particular like draws out lots and lots of negative comments about the city letting it get torn down and everything.
We'll get lots of comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could do both, like
Yeah.
a success and yeah.
Yeah, I looked up, there's some articles in the library over here, and apparently it was actually a county library, so it was a county that demolished it, but it was cheaper to tear it down and sell the land than it was to fix the leaky roof.
Well,
I mean, that's the reason people give for tearing down every historic building. So
I mean, yeah, we could say that about the airport terminal right now too, but we won't get into that. No, I agree with Josh. I think if we do like a positive and a negative, I think the Carnegie Library, it will bring a lot of traction, and that's probably a good thing, because I mean, when we're looking at the pump house, luckily there's a use for that now, but other historic structures that are potentially, fading away, like, no, we don't want to lose another one. So, yeah. But then we can maybe pick I don't know which one would be a good success story right now, but I think we could do both.
Okay, great. I will take that moving forward. And yeah, I was kind of looking at the frequency which Dawn was trying to post, and I think other folks too, and looking at just real briefly scrolling of the most successful posts were obviously historic posts. So including images and, some historic context and things like that. So I'm trying to look at that and keep us moving that way forward. I think will help us be pretty successful.
I think another thing that we could share on our page is, the DDA is looking at doing the banners, and I think that would be a good one for us to share.
What's that?
The replacing the banners that we have around downtown, and bringing actually some historic graphic representation. But right now there's a RFP or RFQ or something. Oh, do you want to come in? You come and talk about that.
I am Cass Raffa, the programs coordinator for the DDA, and I have kind of revamped the banner program. Those banners have been up since 2022 that are downtown right now, so they're definitely at the end of their life. So we've put out an artist open call for artists to submit artwork for the banners, and one of the requirements is to include at least one or more historical photos of downtown Cheyenne or rodeo CFD type. So that call ends May 18th, and then we'll see what all we get and make it as cohesive as possible. So just trying to build that placemaking and in the greater story of Cheyenne as a whole. And I've had a lot of fun looking at historic pictures because I put together like a Google Drive for approved pictures for them to use. And I looked at Old West Museum, American Heritage Center, the Clerk Jones at the library, and all of these. And I hope we get some good things. So any questions on that?
Yeah. Is there anything we can do to support you? Like, do you think sharing a social media post or doing,
Absolutely.
supporting you for a call for art, like what can we do?
Yeah. Madam Chair, through you. Yeah, sharing on social media would be great. We do have a post up on our Instagram and Facebook right now about it. If you'd like to share it, it has the link. I have some flyers printed out I could send to you even, and then you could send to the board.
Yeah, if you
like
can send them to
yeah,
Aaron.
sorry, yeah,
Yep,
to
no.
Aaron, yes. So yeah, if that, I don't know if you would want the flyer to hand out or give to people, but I can absolutely do that too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guess anything else on marketing? Any comments, questions? Ornaments. Gary's not here, so unless someone has spoken to him and he's given you an update, then okay. Airport fountain planning, Kelly.
Yes. So since our last meeting, we did have a follow-up call with Pacific Coast Conservation that had given us the quotes to come do some repairs and testing basically on preserving the fountain and trying to reverse some of the damage that we've seen from the spalling. So we got a little bit of clarification from them on what they proposed. And I know last meeting we had talked about their option 2, which was like a full removal of the epoxy fill and coating that was previously applied, that they didn't actually price, but we were curious, like, if you do this testing, can you then give us a price for that? And they still kind of reiterated they don't necessarily recommend that. And it's more because that there's a risk of removing a lot of the original material from the terracotta. So it sounds like their recommendation still is to come up with some sort of ongoing spot treatment plan. But we did get an updated proposal from them based on the discussion and the board approval last meeting to move forward with this initial testing and let them do some fills and coatings and add some weep holes to the bottom of the fountain, which we're hoping will help with the drainage so there's not as much moisture infiltration into the terracotta itself. So we got them a
a signed proposal. It was right around 9,100 and some dollars. The approval was to spend up to 10,000 for this initial testing phase. And I just got from Giselle today a purchase order from the city, since that is going to be contracted directly from the city to Pacific Coast Conservation for what we had agreed to move forward with. And have not had a chance to review that, but I'll send that out. Unless there's anything else you need me to do with that, Aaron, I'll just pass that on to Pacific Coast if it matches the proposal that we had. Okay. So they do have us scheduled for the week of, I believe it was May 15th. I can't remember the exact date, but they're planning to be here maybe the 11th.
Maybe I'm confusing that with the mayor's proclamation.
Let's see. I think May 11th. You're right. Yep. So they are planning to be up here. Lucinda, who's their main conservationist, I think was her title. She'll be here that whole week to do some testing and spot treatment. And then the plan is to probably wait a full year. And the reason being, we want to let the fountain run during the summer months and then let it go through a freeze thaw cycle in the winter and see how that holds up. And then probably have them, I mean, they'll give us recommendations for ongoing maintenance and treatment. I also did reach out to Jason Sanchez at the city just to make sure he was in the loop on what we're planning, and got an email back from him. And he said they're good with that. They won't plan to fill and start the fountain until after that's all complete. We'll just keep them in the loop. But he also recommended, for our consideration, he said we should replace the plumbing and nozzles in the fountain. He said, and this was good information to have, that their team had worked to repair and keep the fountain running through the summer months, but some of the metal plumbing is corroded, which has caused a metal flake to come off and clog the filter and the nozzles. So he said last year the city spent about $2,000 of their funds on plumbing repairs, and he listed what some of those were. And then they've spent a lot of their staff hours as well to try and keep the fountain operational. So I haven't done anything with that yet. I probably need to reach out to Millward maybe. And Patrick, I don't know if you had any information. Welcome back. Good to see you. But I think we were going to look into who did some plumbing updates previously. I don't know if that was the 2022.
Yeah, I don't really have any
repairs.
information on the plumbing. I know the gentleman from the city that met me out there told me that they'd had a plumber come in, and he had indicated to me that all the plumbing had been redone.
Right.
But I still have pictures of down there, and I'll go back and look and see what they're talking about, this metal plumbing that's having issues. See if I've got that photo of that or something, because I took extensive photos when I was down there in the pit.
I don't recall there being any updating to any of the plumbing portion. I think the only thing we did was replace the pump itself. So that it could very well be
Old piping.
corroded. Yeah.
Huh.
And I think so Kelly and I do anticipate meeting with Pacific Coast when they come and coordinating. So we'll take a deeper dive into evaluating that, because obviously we'll need Jason to let us in to that bottom portion, but we can investigate that further that week.
Okay.
Too,
And if you'd
so.
like to let me know, I can be back involved if
Okay.
my health stays okay.
Yeah, no, we
Appreciate
can
it.
absolutely let you know.
Thank you. And I'm glad to see that that company is coming about and having some active stuff going on here.
Yes, thank you for initiating that. It took us a while to gather all the information and get to a plan, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, you bet.
Josh.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about the nozzles. I feel like just even driving past, you could when the fountain was running, you could see like some, because there's probably like 80 nozzles all the way around or something, and you could see that some of them were like not spraying correctly or or doing a very like yeah. So I'm not surprised by that, but yeah, thanks to everybody on that committee for getting all of that moving forward.
Just a note, when I met again with the city of maintenance guy there, he said he indicated it wasn't the nozzle so much as there is a strainer down there and it gets clogged with everything, leaves, bird feathers that go into the strainer and then clog the pump. And that's why I mentioned to him one day I would go by there and it's shooting like Old Faithful. And the next day I'd go by and it's like 2 inches high. And he said, well, that's because the pump strainer constantly needs to be cleaned. So I don't know if that has an impact on the nozzles or not. I imagine it does. So, and it could be clogging from all that gets through the strainer. So it's something to try and keep that thing going. So they indicated that to me and I could see going down in the pit. If you go down there, make sure you take an umbrella because I don't know, the water is penetrating the ceiling and it's leaking all over the place down there from the fountain up above. I don't know if Pacific Coast is going to address that. If you look in there, you can see it's been patched together where the water hits and then somehow it's soaking all the way down into the lower level.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of investigating that week and, between the three of us and with Pacific Coast, hopefully we can really get to the bottom of it. And it's really unfortunate. I think we were all hoping for, another really great completion of the fountain and know that we're going to have to wait another year. But, when we were talking with Pacific Coast, if we try and rush it and rush that timeline, we might be back in the same position we're in now. And that would also be unfortunate. So, I do think we need to do it right. So.
most definitely.
So I'll follow up. I'll reach back out to Jason and then Millward as well and just see if they have any information on, plumbers that have worked on it in the past. And then I can do a little additional investigation to see if there's other like fountain specialty contractors or something. Like if we're going to be out there that week investigating, maybe we bring somebody else in that might have more expertise on those components.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. If they can at least look at it. I don't know are you thinking that we would contract someone else or hopefully they'll just kind of take a look at it.
Right. Just get them out there to
okay.
get eyes on it initially and see what their thoughts are. I don't think we'd be offering to spend any money for them to come do that.
Gotcha.
Right. Just see if somebody's willing to come
look at it. Anything else on airport fountain planning? Any questions, comments? Okay. Pump house. I mean, I think we pretty much covered that. I guess, Charles, is there any update on just kind of the progress of construction?
Chair, members of the board, I haven't heard any updates on that. I believe it's still ongoing. I think they just awarded the contract recently.
I think that's right. Yeah. Will they, I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but at some point in the planning, will they come and present to us what the plan is for the pump house, just so we know?
Chair, through to the members of the board, we are aware of that and we'll be making the request for them to do that. I would hope that they would do that. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Design guidelines, we met, I actually can't remember, was it a couple weeks ago? And kind of just started the process of gathering information. I did actually find out recently that there was another version of design guidelines that were put together in 2017-ish. And I was going to ask if that was in the city files anywhere, or if it's just kind of gone with the wind. Yeah. So Desiree with Art Cheyenne, when she was with the DDA, do you know? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. anyways, we were just kind of trying to gather all the variations that have been done and looking at a lot of examples. Thank you for sitting. Those were phenomenal, and I think really gives us a good head start. And so we determined how we're going to approach it. And I think the way that we've decided to move forward is we're going to kind of review each district individually and just starting with the downtown district so we can get that moving forward so that the DDA has guidelines to work with as far as like the facade improvement grants and so forth. And we were planning to meet this week, but I think it might be maybe next week. We're trying to determine that day. Do you want to?
Just really fast.
Yeah.
I will kind of be your DDA liaison for
Oh, okay.
this because it is in the plan of development implementation matrix, as you know. So and we did send, I believe we sent any past ones to planning staff to start reviewing what we have in our files. But if there is anything else you need from the DDA, have your staff reach out to me. I'll be your person for that.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I'll be at these meetings too. So
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'll see you on Thursday at yours. Well, and I think you sent us the 1990s version, or we got it from somewhere. Charles, do because there was like a 1990s version, and
Hi, Amber. Sorry if I'm talking out of turn. This is Sophia Mays. I sent
Oh,
it to you all. I sent you like the 1990s version and I think one from 2007. Cass will look through our physical records as well to see if we can find any more, but that's what I had digitally.
And Chair, yes, I was having to jog my memory to remember the design guidelines, but yes, I do remember that those were dug up during the DDA plan of development. So
yeah, and I think we have those. Desiree said that there was an even current one, but it sounds like no one has that copy. So like 2017-ish. Sophia, do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't see it in my digital records. So when I combed through when you guys were doing your strategic planning, what I sent you was what I had, but I have not looked through our vault files yet. So there might be something there for sure.
So yeah, we're moving that forward. I guess, Josh, do you have any additional comments to?
No, just
No.
that, yeah, we're
Okay.
starting to look at it. So
But watch list items. I guess, does anyone have any updates on any of these? I don't really have anything on the governor's mansion or towards the schools, the closing of the schools, the Van Tassel carriage, and the demolition by neglect ordinance. I don't think we're trying to pick up right now. So, do you guys have any information of the school closings and what's happening with?
Chair, through you, I mean, the Deming is on slated for closing this year, and they do have a end of year party scheduled. I think it's in May sometime.
Is that something anyone's interested in attending? Just
It's May 7th.
is that open to the public or?
Yeah, I believe so. I just saw it on Facebook.
Okay. Okay. Any new business? Anyone like to bring forth? Yes, Patrick?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to mention that the Atlas Open House is this weekend, Saturday, 18th at 6 o'clock. After extensive refurbishing, the Atlas Theater is going to be back open. They'll give tours and things like that and have hors d'oeuvres and stuff. So appreciate it if everybody could come down and take a look what we did. It was fun for me to be involved in all that. Unfortunately, my health took a turn and I couldn't finish it out, but it's all done and they got a certificate of occupancy and ready to go. So Again, that's Saturday, the 18th at 6 o'clock. Doors open.
Awesome. Is that something we can, did you guys like have a Facebook post or anything about it that we could share on?
It is, yeah, there is one, a Facebook post on it. I'm not sure. They're going to have hors d'oeuvres. They're going to have some play presentations, and they're going to open up and let everybody know the schedule coming up for the plays and things like that. So it'll be fun. I've seen some of what they've done, and it was a huge process. It was amazing what they had to do to that thing to jack everything up. And yeah, they would jack it up a half inch a night and hope they came back and it didn't crumble.
Wow.
So it was quite a process for them to go through that and stuff. And so, and then of course, they had to do a whole lot of different things that weren't part of the schedule, like put in a brand new fire system, alarm system, things like that. So, it was something else. So, but it'll hold up for another 100 years, I'm sure.
Awesome. Exciting. Does anyone else have any new business you want to bring forth? Old business sounds.
Chair, through you. Our office manager has indicated that there are a couple people who still need to provide receipts for anything that you guys paid for at the conference for Savings Places. And then also if anyone has their parking receipt as well. But I think she needed receipts from Chuck, Patrick Bustos, and then Amber.
And I did have a question because, so I ended up having to pay for my hotel room because of the mix-up. But I was kind of told that I wasn't going to get reimbursed for that. Should I try and submit the receipt and hope that I get
You
reimbursed?
could submit it. I've vaguely heard that you can't be reimbursed for it because we had already paid for it through the credit card. But we could try.
Well, you guys should get a refund because, well, you paid for a room that no one slept in. So, okay. Well, I'll get on our reimbursement receipts. So other business, I guess we talked about, are you going to go into this a little bit further, Charles, with the 418 West First Avenue?
Sorry, I have one more thing. It'll be different.
I can't.
For other business.
Okay. Well, I mean, we did talk about that property and it sounds like more information is going to come. So we don't have anything else to discuss on that.
No, we should be mailing that information out on April 27th to you.
So I guess other business?
Chair, members of the board, I totally forgot about this until I just remembered it. So this is not a historic structure, but this is not recognized as one, but this is an old house right here. This is on Bradley and 15th. This is Holiday Park. This is the big curve. Advanced Auto Parts is right over here. Supposedly, this is the original, we've heard, the original signalman's house for the railroad. Does anyone know anything about the history of this structure?
Gary Sims knows about it, but he's not here tonight. I remember several years ago, Gary brought a picture and a bunch of information about this building that it's connected to one of the railroads, not the UP. It was like a different rail line or something.
There's the CB&Q rail line, which ran through this area as well. This
Yeah.
could have been actually where the CB&Q joined the Union Pacific main line. That would make sense, being in a signalman's house right there at the merger of the two items. Well, anyway, we have a development proposal for this lot. It's not a data center.
Well, that's a relief.
No, it is, what it actually is a person has indicated they wish to restore this home. There is, not as a home, but they want to restore the structure, I should say, but there's nothing really mandating that it be preserved in any way, but we can always talk to them about it. They would like to do essentially an auto sales type of facility here, where this would be their office, and then they would do improvements on the site, including some sidewalk on the 15th Street side, and then some landscaping and some display area out here while this would be here. This would all go through our Board of Adjustment through the conditional use process. So in the event that they are doing any modifications to the building, we could put some type of condition on there that it would retain some historical elements. So anyway, just want to give you a heads up. There's some stuff going on out there. We don't know if it'll move forward as is. We're in the early conversations with this group. Just thought we'd pick your brains to see if there were is there anything we all needed to know about that?
But
Sounds like
yeah, I
Gary.
talked to Gary because he had done some
Okay.
gathering of information about it. But yeah, in general though, I think it would be great if we could find some way to encourage or require some amount of preservation of what's there. So I don't know what you would need from us, Charles, as that moves forward. Like, what would be useful? Like a letter from the board or something, or
Nothing at this time. I was just really just trying to take your all's temperature and knowledge level on this. I'll be in touch with Gary.
I mean, obviously they're welcome to come and talk to us if they would like our opinion. Cool. Well, it's nice to know that it might actually get some use instead of sitting boarded up. Yeah, it looks like there's some decorative elements, the
There's
window and
2 chimneys, which that's toasty.
oh, cool. There any other business? Nope. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I move to adjourn. Thanks. I don't know.